Here we go. What up, YouTube? My name is Riz Ill, and I'd like to welcome you back to my reaction channel. I've officially changed the name and everything, and I've changed this whole thing into my reaction channel specifically. And I've decided to move in terms of music business and all of that elsewhere. But to cut all that shit short, we're just gonna get to it and get to our sports reaction basically. I've been trying to do some sports reactions in between of everything I have to do, all these suggestions that have been coming in that have been mostly from the music side in terms of my music reactions. So I try to get my sports reactions in between and try to not only do my research for interesting and proper reactions in terms of all the sports that I'm trying to learn about, especially coming from America, which I've specifically been focusing on, but to get to my suggestions. But today is not going to be a suggestion. Today is going to be one of the things that I researched and I'm genuinely interested in. I believe I discussed this in a previous video where I was comparing very skillful players in soccer and comparing them to maybe their counterparts in hockey and stuff. And a lot of y'all were giving me suggestions about players that were the hockey counterparts of legendary skillful soccer players. So today I'm going to be focusing on Pavel Datsyuk. This one is titled Pavel Datsyuk was the most creative NHL player that's ever lived. This is why. And I'm going to be seeing why this man was so legendary. I don't really know who he is. I haven't really gotten down to all the players that I need to pay attention to in hockey. But I'm genuinely interested in finding out why this guy was so special. So without further ado, let's get to it.
The date is November 12th, 2003, and it's a 5-2 regular season blowout game between the Detroit Red Wings and Dallas Stars. With less than a minute left, the game might be over, but you're about to witness one of the most iconic goals in hockey history.
The clear all alone! Oh, what a goal!
This was the origin of the Magic Man, Pavel Datsyuk. In just his second season in the NHL, we'd seen flashes of brilliance from Datsyuk, but nothing like this goal before. For the years that would follow, Datsyuk would hold a domination over the league in a way that we've never seen before. He didn't have the individual stats like the greats, but he revolutionized the game with his creativity both with and without the puck. To give you an idea of how dominant Datsyuk truly was, all you had to do was listen to the players playing against him. In 2012, an NHLPA poll asked the players to vote on who they thought was the best in each category. Pavel Datsyuk was voted in the top spot for 6 different results, including the smartest player and the hardest to take the puck from. Datsyuk won 2 Stanley Cups, 3 Selke trophies, and 4 Lady Byng trophies, but despite all that, he never had a 100-point season in his career. Yet, he was still an unstoppable force. So, how exactly did Pavel Datsyuk become the most dominant player in hockey? Let's start with his undeniable skill and creativity. He would do so many little things in a game that would leave you wondering how exactly he was able to do that. And whether the play resulted in a goal or not, he was innovating how to manipulate defenders to his will. Players could do this before Datsyuk, but he mastered the timing and the consistency in which he would do it. In today's NHL, you probably hear skating coaches talk about how defenders should limit crossing their feet. And that's all thanks to Pavel Datsyuk. Datsyuk was the master at pulling defenders and their momentum one way, waiting for their feet to cross, and then cutting back against the grain. If you went one way, it's because Pavel Datsyuk wanted you to go that way. If you look at the game now, this has become a more common move for players off the rush. Players today are more conscious of the defender's feet in one-on-one situations, and they're looking for a slip up to attack it. This is way easier said than done, but Datsyuk would do this all the time. It takes a high level of awareness and almost perfect timing to pull this off at top speed, yet Datsyuk would do this effortlessly. Even if you anticipated a cutback while trying to defend Datsyuk, he would anticipate it first, and you would probably find yourself on the highlight pack later that night. When one-on-one with defenders,
He crossed the fuck out of him backwards, dude. What the fuck is this? Wait.
Datsyuk's creativity, skill, and deception was something all hockey players and fans would just marvel at. Even as a defender, when you boxed out Datsyuk or forced him to his backhand, he would still find ways to embarrass you. His backhand shot was better than most players' forehand shot. And as an offensive player, he was showing how it's possible to create offense in almost any scenario. This doesn't even include how skilled and creative he was when he was one-on-one with the goalie, which if you've seen any Datsyuk highlight compilation video on YouTube, there really is no further explanation. Every single Datsyuk move we've seen has been done or copied in today's NHL in some fashion. He showed players the door for how creative you can be, and now today's stars have busted through that door. But the one thing I and many other players, coaches, and even fans love about Datsyuk is how he would marry this skill with his hockey IQ on both sides of the puck. From defense to offense, Datsyuk had a sixth sense that allowed him to just be consistently ahead of his opponents. He had a gift of understanding the other team's systems and how to expose them.
One thing before this guy continues. What nationality is Datsyuk? Because his name, like his first name, sounds Indian, but Datsyuk sounds like Eastern European or something. So, what nationality is he? Because one thing I've always said about soccer, it's beautiful because it lets you know, like, where it teaches you from a young age where people are from just from hearing their surnames, you know. But that surname is sounding very Eastern European, but I can't zero it down. So, where is Datsyuk from? Is he from I don't know, Ukraine or Kazakh? I don't know what I don't know. I don't know where he's from. But tell me where he's from.
Take this example where Datsyuk feels the pressure from a forechecker. In this case, it's the F3 or the third forward in the forecheck, and he uses a fake to pull the F3 deeper into the zone by making him hesitate for a split second. This little play creates a 3-on-2 for Detroit the other way. Even when he didn't have the puck, he understood pressure. Here, the puck is on the boards and Datsyuk is trying to fish it out. Knowing full well that his head is down, he senses that the F3 will come in looking for blood. Sensing this, and probably using his peripheral vision as well, he simply steps back when he hears the footsteps. This forces the Dallas forwards to hit into each other, and yet again causes all three Dallas forwards to get caught deep.
He fucking Tom and Jerry them shit.
For a last chance the other way. Some of Datsyuk's best work came when he didn't even have the puck. In my opinion, there has yet to be a single player who can steal pucks the way Pavel Datsyuk did. The way he would cause turnovers was a reflection of how well Datsyuk understood the game and how easily he would manipulate his opponents. With just his stick, he would angle guys and force them to put pucks in vulnerable positions for him to execute a perfectly timed stick lift. Datsyuk was an absolute thief, and if you weren't careful, you would get caught looking pretty silly. Even when the puck wasn't anywhere near him, he would anticipate plays perfectly. Whether it's a quick read to cut off the breakout or understanding where to be on an odd man rush against, creating offense against Datsyuk was incredibly challenging. And it was this awareness away from the puck that made Datsyuk one of the most brilliant two-way forwards to ever play the game. On top of all this skill and creativity, Datsyuk was terrific at playing the body. He was as strong as he was smart on the ice, and if he couldn't get you with his stick, he would separate you from the puck with his body. Even if you did get a shot at Datsyuk, he would throw a reverse hit to make sure you think twice before doing so. Datsyuk knew how to hit and finish his checks, but more importantly, he knew how to take one. When you put all this together, you get one of the most dominant hockey players to ever live. In an era where skill wasn't as prominent as it is today, Datsyuk was years ahead of the competition and everything you wanted in a superstar player. Although he may not have the insane individual numbers that other hockey greats do, he deserves to be in that conversation. His play inspired a level of creativity that we see in today's game, and that alone makes him one of the greatest players to ever do it. Before we end this video and get to the featured question, I want to...
This man hit the hockey puck. He tapped it through his leg and then reversed it with the stick and then backshotted it into the fucking... Yo, bro! I mean, am I explaining it right? Oh, wait one minute.
Thank our sponsor for today's video, Hockey Training. Hockey Training helps players improve their explosive speed, agility, conditioning, and skills on the ice through science-backed training methods. They work with players of all ages and skill levels to help them take their game to the next level. They also have a fantastic YouTube channel with tons of free resources to help players with their off-ice training, and if you're a player, I'd recommend checking them out. I'll leave those links in the bio down below. As for the big question, do you think Pavel Datsyuk is the best Russian-born hockey player of all time? That's tough for me because Ovi is the greatest goal scorer ever, and Datsyuk is probably one of the best two-way players to ever play the game. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below so that you can be featured in our next video like this comment here. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Let's Listen, I don't know whether this guy is the greatest. Oh no, not the greatest. Obviously, Wayne Gretzky is far above everyone else. You know, his the gap I'm now understanding from everything I've seen and everything I learned is huge in terms of Wayne Gretzky and all he accomplished. However, I don't really know, man. I don't really know. Ovechkin looks like he's holding the title, but Pavel Datsyuk, you know what Pavel Datsyuk is from like my limited knowledge, but from what I'm hearing over here, Pavel Datsyuk is like let me not keep on. Let me not even put Ronaldinho in it. He's like Brazilian Ronaldo, or what me and my friends used to love calling him, Fat Ronaldo. Uh, Fat Ronaldo is Ronaldo from Brazil, the Ronaldo that was Ronaldo before CR7 Cristiano Ronaldo came up. Um, he was said to have been, not even said, it was shown that he was like one of the most special soccer players that has ever lived. He was incredible in terms of his ball control, how he did things, how he scored. Everything about him was just, if he was a boxer, he would be a boxer puncher. He was just a bunch of things rolled up into one. He just wasn't one thing. But the problem with him was the fact that he couldn't achieve the full extent of his greatness because he always used to get injured, you know, which is a thing that has plagued many players that had the potential for greatness, you know. Not saying the player that I'm about to mention right now was like some great, but he is a somewhat he's like a Liverpool legend, I think, or so. But Daniel Sturridge is another one who was like a special player, especially in the Suarez era, where him, Suarez, and Sterling, they were dominating the scene in terms of how they shape what Liverpool is today, in terms of the new wave of the Liverpool style of play. I feel he was plagued with injuries also, so he, out of those three, was the only one who didn't go on to continue to do great things. Luis Suarez went on to Barcelona, so he went from the trio of him, Sterling, and Sturridge, and then he went from that legendary Liverpool trio to the Barcelona Liverpool trio, which is one of the greatest of all time. It's the trio of him, Luis Suarez, Lionel Messi, the right now GOAT of soccer, and Neymar. And them, they dominated. They dominated. Did they dominate the league, or were they just no? That is one of the greatest like Barcelona teams ever, bro. And they really like went to war with the league. You know, I'm hindering myself from saying they dominated because they still had to deal with Cristiano Ronaldo and the Madrid stars of Real Madrid and the superstar team that they had of like what you call Gareth Bale, the James Rodriguez, who they signed after the World Cup, the Tony Crew, the freaking what you call the Sammy Khediras, the Modric of all, bro. Real Madrid are so fucking stacked, and it would be scary if Barcelona wasn't always stacked, or wasn't also stacked too with the what you call the Busquets, the Iniestas. Iniesta and Xavi at that time were on their way out, but they were still prime and ready and powerful in their own right. I think Iniesta, he hit his peak in terms of being the greatest midfielder. Not only one, arguably the greatest midfielder of all time, but one of the greatest. But obviously, like you know what, he is the greatest midfielder that Barcelona has ever had, in my opinion. But it could be disputed. It definitely could be arguable. But yeah, man, Barcelona is also stacked too. So sorry for rambling on about soccer. This is a hockey thing, but yeah, it's a sign of like some great players, bro. No matter how great they are, there are some things that do hinder them. I don't know what's hindered Pavel Datsyuk from having these individual achievements and all that all the other greats have, that have hindered him from being taken to the next level, even though people are obviously seeing, yo, this guy is already at the next level. It's just that he can't seem to get this one thing that can take him to the next level, you know. So like George Best from back in the day, a Manchester United legend, who he was incredible, and he was probably going to be the greatest United player that ever lived. Probably, probably. There's a lot of great United players, including sorry, including Cristiano Ronaldo, fucking Wayne Rooney, all of them. But George Best seemed to be hindered by the fact that he was an alcoholic. He was addicted to the fast life. So there's always those things that hinder players from reaching that next level. There's Ronaldinho again, as I said, with his party lifestyle, and he was like a fucking genius. He was the Pavel Datsuk of soccer. Ronaldinho, I can honestly say, was the Pavel Datsuk of soccer in terms of creativity, and Ronaldo was the Pavel Datsuk of soccer in terms of, if Pavel Datsuk was an all-rounder in terms of goals, in terms of there's nothing he can't really do. But that's been me. Explain this to me. Leave your comments below on this guy and explain uh, the different things about him that I need to know. What really hindered him from reaching that next level. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the post notifications, and you guys have a wonderful day.